Self-Hatred, Part 1. My name is Sharitha Coleman. Since the beginning of time, we have not been authentic to ourselves. God has always wanted us to be authentic to ourselves. He has tried to show us the path to our higher selves. We chose to reject and judge each other, not accepting each other for who we are. Our societies have forced us to conform to meet social standards. The pressures we have caused us to lose our authentic selves, putting us against each other. The people who choose to conform and those who didn't. The powers that be choose who is superior to others. People who think they are superior to others lose respect for the inferior. Then the superior starts to reject and judge the inferior, dehumanizing them and making excuses to treat them as inferior. Jesus hung out with the poor, oppressed, and the disabled because he wanted to show that even though he is God's son, he was equal to them. If Jesus is equal to us, then we are equal to each other. When we reject and judge each other, we see ourselves as better. When we don't see each other as human, we lose compassion. Love thy neighbor, they say. When most of us are conditioned to judge our neighbors, love doesn't mean love. It means being kind, compassionate, and generous towards our neighbor. We can't be kind, compassionate, and generous to someone we judge. That's conditional love. God unconditionally loves us and loves us no matter what we do. Most of us are scared to get close to God because that would mean we would have to change. Some of us go to church every Sunday and say we love God, but do we? Or do we love the idea that we might go to heaven? If I told y'all, some of y'all ain't going to heaven because of how y'all treat others, some of y'all would either change your behavior or stop going to church. That means some of us don't believe in a higher power, and some get baptized just in case there is a higher power. Who do we think we are fooling? God sees everything. If we keep making bad choices when he shows us the path we should go, we blame it on the devil. When we just love to be comfortable in our mess. I thought every bad thing that happened to me was the devil, until I realized that God allowed me to go through hard times to change me for the better. I'm not saying it was easy to change. I dragged my feet the whole time. As a child, I hated to go to church because I knew my family was not living a godly life. They would go to church every Sunday, then come home and watch church on TV, while doing drugs, drinking, and treating each other badly. Some of them would say, I am praying to God to help my situation, while not doing anything to change their situation. Then they would tell me I need to respect my elders when they didn't respect me. As a result, I would go to church as I wouldn't go to church as an adult because I didn't think I was worthy of God. I wasn't doing nearly as much stuff as my family did when I was a child, but I felt like I wasn't reading my Bible and following religious ways. Plus, I had a problem with everything. I had a problem with dressing up to go to church when I felt like if God loves you, why should he care about how you look as long as you come to church if you're dressed nice? What? He shouldn't care what you look like when you come to church if you're dressed nice. I had a problem with the people. They acted like they were better than you and rejected you. I felt like they wanted you to give your life to God conditionally. I was like, nah, I'm straight. So I didn't go to church for years. At the same time, I was committed to my personal integrity, and I chose to be a good citizen and treat people with respect. I chose to love a little too much. I struggled to have faith in God, and I would pray for Him to give me faith because I knew there had to be a God if something bigger than me or something bigger than me because a billion people believed in Him. At the time, I couldn't understand how the world could be so evil and God didn't stop it. But once I understood that everything happens for a reason, I started understanding why evil existed. Even though I wasn't attending church, I still chose to live by principles of truth, loyalty, compassion, kindness, and generosity. Looking back, I realized living a life of higher consciousness. I realized I was living a life of higher consciousness without even realizing it. I've learned that you don't need to attend church to cultivate higher consciousness. Making tough decisions to uphold your morals and values is important. Maintaining higher consciousness in a world that often rewards lower consciousness behaviors is challenging. To embody higher consciousness, you must go against the grain and choose integrity over confidence. This doesn't mean being a pushover. It means standing firm in your values even when difficult or unpopular. As is often the case, I've had to learn these lessons the hard way. But through these challenges, I discovered the importance of staying true to myself and not compromising on my principles, regardless of societal pressures or expectations. We've become so selfish that we've lost the ability to show compassion for our neighbors. Our focus on external needs has left us bankrupt internally. When someone possesses inner richness, we often label them too sensitive and judge them unfairly. Throughout my life, I've faced rejection for caring deeply about others. People made me feel like something was wrong with me because I couldn't stop being compassionate. There's nothing wrong with being spiritually rich. The issue lies in being morally bankrupt. Our societal morals often teach us to hate, judge, and act selfishly towards one another. We're so invested in our illusions that any critique to our amoral behavior is met with hostility. Instead of reflecting on why someone might feel this way, we tend to deflect and argue, knowing deep down that there might be truth in their words. Those who experience trauma often dismiss compassion as sensitivity. While I worked to heal from my own trauma, others avoided confronting their own pain. Some mocked me and called me crazy for wanting to heal and treat others better. Others judged my decisions without offering support, talking behind my back while spiritually bankrupt themselves by not choosing themselves. Just as with this speech, I know some people will reject it because I'm discussing something different. The people who reject it the most are probably the ones who believe in their illusion the most. Thank you. My name is Sharitha Coleman.